early hours of June 20th, 1942, a quiet Indiana town was shaken by a series of crimes that would ultimately lead to the execution of a 17-year-old boy in the Nevada desert just 2 years later. This is the tragic story of Floyd Loveless, the youngest person ever executed by the state of Nevada. Lafayette, Indiana, had been plagued by a 6-week crime spree. Dozens of car break-ins, multiple burglaries, and 2 violent home invasions. It wasn't long before police traced the crimes back to 2 teenage brothers, 15-year-old Floyd Burton Loveless and 17-year-old Robert K. Loveless. They had run away from home and embarked on a reckless rampage, stealing cars, breaking into homes, and terrorizing innocent people. When the boys were finally caught, Floyd took the brunt of the charges. He was sentenced to the Indiana Boys' School until he turned 21. But he had no plans of staying. Within a month, Floyd and another boy, David Klein, escaped and set off westward, committing more burglaries and car thefts along the way. Their ultimate destination? California, but they never made it. On August 20th, 1942, the boys reached Elko County, Nevada. After stealing a truck, Floyd's fate was sealed. The vehicle belonged to a well-known ranch manager, Elmer Hill. When the town constable, Adolph Burning, spotted the stolen truck, he pulled Floyd over. But as the officer attempted to take control of the situation, Loveless pulled out a revolver. The two struggled. Then, 2 gunshots rang out. Burning collapsed, mortally wounded. Floyd tried to flee, but within hours, both boys were captured. Constable Burning died 36 hours later. The community demanded justice, and Nevada wasted no time in making an example out of the teenage killer. Loveless was quickly indicted for first-degree murder. Despite his age, he was tried as an adult. His fate was sealed when the jury took just 3 hours to find him guilty. The judge sentenced him to death. On May 18, 1944, at just 17 years old, Floyd Loveless was led to Nevada's gas chamber. He remained silent as officials strapped him into the chair. When the cyanide pellets dropped, he inhaled deeply, and within minutes, he was gone. With Loveless's execution, Nevada set a chilling precedent, one that still sparks debate today. Was justice served, or was the execution of a child a miscarriage of justice? Floyd Loveless died as he lived, young, reckless, and defiant. But his story remains a stark reminder of how quickly youthful delinquency can spiral into a life-or-death struggle with the law.